Good morning, everybody. We're going to start in 1 minute. Just want to say hello. Let me just chat in here. Is that just Ray chatting? Or, oh, people are saying good morning. Good morning. There's echoing. Is everybody else hear me echoing? Usually it's awesome because I've got really good speakers. Anybody else, or are we all good? Good morning, Verinder. Jim, my friend. I haven't talked to you in ages. Good morning. Oh my goodness, love it. Okay, so Keith, everyone's good. Ray, you can hear me okay? Louise, hello, good morning. The sound is not good. Echoes and repeats 2 times. Well, how's the sound with everybody else? Yeah, usually it's probably your end. So if you're listening to me on 2 devices, maybe you'll hear echoing, but generally speaking, it's all good. So we have a jam-packed hour. I'm going to really try and keep it in an hour. You guys are awesome being able to chat and figure that out. So today we're going to talk, I did a very similar one last month and then I had a bunch of questions. So I wanted to do it again. And I played around a bit with the presentation and how I can really get you to understand this kind of complex technology and systems. And really the end goal is for you to understand that Google Business Platform is your friend and how it will change the way you do business. So I love doing these webinars, but it's really helpful if, I love your questions. So please, if, you know, we had about 50 people register and it's very interesting, like half the people will show up if we're lucky. So we've got about a quarter of you guys, so it's pretty small webinar. So if you want to, and I say, please just unmute yourself and talk, feel free to do that and ask questions, but Ray's gonna monitor the chat and we're gonna get going. All right, let me see what I'm doing here. I gotta get into the right, that is not the right spot. 1 sec, seriously. Get okay, there we are, perfect. Okay, so what's going to happen is there is going to be that link at the top of each of these, well, not almost every slide. So you will get a log-on information, and then you're going to get all my resource links, special deals on training, and online tech school for agents. And I totally wanted to remember this, is that I've had a flash sale for the week on my online school for agents, where you can self-learn almost everything I'm going to talk about today. Normally it's $450 a year, and it includes a whole bunch of things and a whole bunch of school tech training. So we have a flash sale that ends today at midnight. So Ray, if you want to put the link in the chat, and or if you don't know, you can always email Ray if you can't figure it out. It's admin@Darci with a I, darcitalks.com. You'll also be able to go through a slower paced video series if you want, once you register and kind of get all this stuff, you know, a little slower. There's a link about social media postings and newsletters, because we do that for agents as well. And we don't really promote it, I don't know why, a lot, but we have a handful of clients that we actually do all their newsletters and all their social media postings. We're going to give you a deal on Realty Juggler Drip. And I just added this, so this is probably surprising to Ray, a 30-minute free consult on your systems. Now, I'm actually going to be away on holidays and also speaking in Toronto, so this probably won't be till June if you click on the link in there. Not probably, it won't be till June or end of May. So click on that, take advantage of that. Okay, so first we want to, oh, is this not going to work? Oh, I hate it when stuff doesn't work. It's not going to work. Okay, then I'm just going to tell you who our sponsor is, Remax Crest. And I don't have time to undo the video here. Remax Crest is amazing. I'll have a little blurb about them at the end. They sponsor these webinars monthly. And that's how you get this free stuff, because it's obviously not free to do. It takes a long time to prep, but thank you very much for Remax for sponsoring that. Now let me just get over here, because I can't seem to, oh, you guys, technology is not my friend today. Just a second, I'm gonna have to restart this PowerPoint because it's not, for some reason, just a sec, hold on. Remove, what's going on? Oh my goodness. Okay, you know what? What I'm going to have to do is, hold on. You know what happened? Does anyone do presentations? Probably not, right? Just a sec. What happened was I usually uninstall a bunch of things so nothing goes wrong. Obviously that didn't work today. PowerPoint, just a sec. I'm going to pull up a different presentation. Oh, you guys are being very patient with me. I'm sorry. Just a sec. PowerPoint. Okay, here we go. I'll bring it back up again because it crashed on me. Okay, this one. No, that's not it. That's this guy. Okay, you guys ready? I'm going to try and start this again. Actually, I'm going to start it after where I just came from. This is, oh my goodness, now nothing's working. Oh Lord, but I can talk about this, but I want to show you slides. Just a sec, you guys. Oh my goodness. I'm going to try this way. Okay, good. I know you guys can't see what's going on. You're just hearing my voice, but just a second. I'm going to bypass everything. It looks like the pictures got all mucked up, but who cares? Okay. Are you ready? Nothing is working. Oh my goodness. There's a, okay. You know what? Ray, I don't know if you can do it on your end and try and open up the slides and then share the screen and I'll talk, but I'm just going to start talking because really, you know, tech problems are a pain in the butt and I don't know what is going on, but my slides will not open now after I had a little crash. So basically, I'm going to just cancel this. I'm going to get out of here. Hold on, save as. I want to talk to you guys about, let me get my face back up here. You can see me, right? Everyone can see me, yes? Hello? Okay, good. Okay, Ray, you can try doing that and then we can share the presentation. Don't you just hate that? I'm just going to do one thing and reboot, get rid of my PowerPoint, end task, and we'll try and do this. Okay. On the sly here, trying to do this without you guys noticing. Okay, this never happens usually. Thank gosh it's not a, here it is, Remax webinars. I'm gonna just do one more thing and see if it'll open up. Go in Google. Let's test this. I don't know. There we go. You guys, patience. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, let's continue on. Whew. Okay, you guys are already very good at chatting, so if you want to chat and ask a question, please feel free to. If you want to unmute yourself, it's a pretty, you know, oh, there's now 20 people. That's okay, I think we can still do this. Briefly, I'll just tell you a little bit about me, why I'm here teaching you about technology and systems. That's me, also I'm live. And really, I was on TV for 3 seasons, teaching tech tips on Get Connected TV. I've been in newspapers, magazines, radio. I have a whole bunch of IT designations. I teach at our board, and I also teach at the California Association of Realtors. I was voted last year top 100 women changing the shape of real estate. And here's the thing that is the really and the important part. I've been 2+ decades in information technology, looking after email servers, large, huge email servers, how they integrate with wireless devices, how email flows, how it works with all types of software. And I will talk to you about that because that's the thing that I see many agents having issues with. And it's easy for me because you know what? I've been doing it for decades. And the reason I'm in your industry is because of this guy, Terry Osti. So that's my husband. All started many years ago when he became an agent. And I started looking at his systems and how to make them better because that's what I did, but in a different industry. And so I looked at it, and initially it was like a big jumbled mess, and we wanted to be able to get access to everything that you need from your tiny little wireless device, right? Or anywhere in the world and have everything talk to each other. So initially I was like, why is this set up this way? And then I started asking other agents, and everybody's usually a big jumbled mess like that. So the goal is today is for you to understand the big jumbled mess you're in and how to make it a little bit better, because in the jumbled mess that you're in, usually that works. It's a slow and painful bumpy ride on square tires, which means you'll get there, but you will waste hours and hours and hours, probably hundreds of hours of your own time. And so I want you to understand from top down how things should work and how they could work. Fair enough? So let's get started. And again, as I said, a lot of the slides will have the darcitalks.tip/webinar. Just put that in a URL and it'll ask you your name and which session you send, and then I'll send you to a special page that has a whole bunch of cool information for you. And again, take advantage. I just decided today to give you a 30-minute kind of consult review of what you've got going on and how I might be able to help you. Okay? All right. So here's the number one thing that I see agents have a problem with, especially if you've been around for a while. You set up an email address, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And unfortunately, fortunately, things have changed. So there's many reasons not to have a personal email. And I'll explain why you should be moving your business over to Google. All things Google. Everything that you know about email is a lie, because most of the things that I help agents with is their stuff isn't working because of the email setup. So I want you to really understand how email works, and then a better way to possibly do your email, okay? Old technology is something called IMAP or POP3 or POP, super old technology, which is most of what, unless you're on a Microsoft email business email or a Google business email, then you're probably in this category where your stuff is just not working. So whether it's a iCloud account, a Yahoo account, a Hotmail, Outlook, AOL. Now, Gmail personal is probably the best of the worst, and I'll talk about that if you have your name at gmail.com, but it isn't very professional. But every email address that you own, so you guys, here's a question for you. How many of you guys have more than one email address, right? And I'm going to guess, because now I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of agents, that you probably have at least 2, if not, I think the most I've seen is something like 10 of them, right? And so you got to wonder, and sometimes, fair enough, you did that for some reason, right? But sometimes people have a personal email and an email that goes to for newsletter sign up. Some people have a business email. Some people have 2 or 3 or 10, whatever. You guys are very quiet. I don't like webinars where people aren't participating. Thank you, Louise, for answering. Come on, how many email addresses are you guys using, right? Whether you're forwarding it to something else, but how many email addresses do you have, right? Because every single email address you have comes with an email folder structure if you use it. It comes with contacts and it comes with calendar. And you might be thinking, well, so the problem is if you've got 3, you have these things under each one, and you have contacts, calendar under each one of these, and folder structure. So then you start thinking, well, where are your contacts? Now this is what the contacts are your gold. Usually contacts in your calendar are your gold. Your contacts are your clients, right? And your friends and your family. And in a perfect world, in my opinion, it should be under one email address, and that's all you have to manage. Why manage 4 email addresses or 10 email addresses? It's difficult enough, like streamline your business, right? I will talk about this, and I'm going to be saying the same thing in different ways, so different people will pick it up differently, okay? Because it's so important. So here's the thing that I know a lot of people don't quite get, okay? So I'm just going to go through what the process should be. Now, one of the things is from top down, you buy a domain, right? So my domain is Darci with an I, talks.com. I own another couple domains, but that's my main domain, Darci talks.com and darcitraining.com, right? Okay, so you own a domain. So that just means that you've done nothing with it, but you own it. But you have to put it somewhere, right? So when you own a domain, once you own it, then and only then can you use your name at yourwebsite.com. Now, here's the kicker. A lot of times if you buy through GoDaddy or Bluehost or whoever you're buying this through, is that they will say, well, hey, we'll give you a free email address. If anybody is giving you a free email address, it is a POP or IMAP email address generally, and it's a forwarding email address. It is not a real email address that is going to work well for you. So POP and IMAP means that you update your contact on your phone, doesn't mean it's updating on other sources. IMAP is the same. Okay, so it's really important that, because the things don't all talk to each other unless it's a proper business email setup. And so I recommend currently, now again, technology changes, but I currently recommend Google's G Suite to set up your business email. Your name at yourwebsite.com. Ray, maybe you can put in the link to Google if someone's interested in setting that up. I put all the stuff on my Darci Talks resources page. It's on the main menu, so you can always go there and look at the things that I recommend agents use. No questions, you guys? I don't see any questions. Goodness. Okay, so let's keep going. So you own a domain, and now you have a website, let's say with G Suite. That means you've got contacts attached to that, calendar attached to that, your email is attached to that, and all your devices, whatever you're using, will attach to that as well, right? Everything relies on the email address. Then you look at cloud storage. If you're iCloud or Dropbox, OneDrive, Google Drive, everything relies on how it is linked to your email address. So wouldn't it be great if all these things are linked to one business email? So if you're going to share a folder, right, of Strata Docs or HOA Docs, then you share the folder and it gets sent from your name at yourwebsite.com, not the best agent, oh, you probably can't do that, 1987 at yahoo.ca. Right? That's very unprofessional. So all these things are linked to an email address. CRMs, whether you're using, I'm just going to list a couple, but Top Producer, Realty Juggler, Exact, or any CRM should integrate with your G Suite email and link to your name at yourdomain.com. Okay? Applications like DocuSign, like PDF Expert, they all can link to your name at yourdomain.com. Rather than however you're linking, I know because I've seen agents, oh my goodness, I've seen everything under the sun, my friends, for sure. And so what happens is you might have your Yahoo account linked to your Dropbox account and your Gmail account linked to your CRM software, and right? And then you send an email and you use your brokerage email address, but it's forwarding to some Yahoo account, right? You know what I mean, right? It's all over the place because you didn't know any different. And my goal is by the end of this that you'll understand actually how this works, okay? All right, this is my goal, is to get you at least having a thought of how you can do a better job of streamlining your business and making that ride a lot easier, okay? So in the webinar, darcitalks.tips/webinar, you will get an offer of the training and the Darci Talks one-on-one. I don't want you to feel horrible about any of this. And also, I'm giving you 30 minutes, and Ray gave a link that we have a flash sale on our online school that ends today. So you're going to get the PDF, related links. I'm going to do a draw at the end of this. So some lucky person's going to win a year membership to my online school. And that includes a whole bunch of things, plus another free webinar every month for online school members and private clients. So how much time do you guys think you waste looking for your stuff in a year? Right? I actually started asking some agents that I work with, like, well, how much, before we worked together and you were trying to do stuff, how much time did you waste? Now, I took a really conservative approach and we said 20 minutes a day. I think a lot of you guys, it's more than that, right? But that's actually 15 8-hour days in a year. Like, that is such a waste of your time. That's $6,000 roughly a year. If you've been an agent for 10, it's 60 grand. If you're a new agent, is there anybody here that's a new agent? You haven't really set up anything yet? Anybody? I'd love to hear you. Please, 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 please type in the chat, unmute yourself if you want to talk and ask a question, because we don't have a ton of people here, and take advantage of this. But this is the figures that we figured out that people were, I think it's actually more. This is a $50 an hour. I don't know if you figure out how much you guys actually are at an hourly rate, if you ever done that. I don't know if you should or shouldn't do that, but it's probably a good exercise to do. So I don't see any, there's no new agents. Okay. This is going to save you hundreds of thousands of dollars if you set up your systems correct, right? So Chandon, please, please, please pay attention, because everybody else, I can help you and I can get it all fixed. But if you set up your systems correct, you're going to be ahead of the system and ahead of a lot of the other agents out there, okay? So we want your system set up properly. So we're going to get started again. We're going to talk about email contacts, calendar, folder, because it's so important. And Verinder, you're new too. Congratulations on being in such a great industry. So we're going to get your system set up properly. That's awesome. Okay, so here's the thing that I want you to understand about how to set up your business again. Now, I'm going to say that main thing that you set up is your headquarters. Your name at yourwebsite.com is kind of like your headquarters, right? So how to set that up? There's two players, and there's more than two, but there's two big players in the game, which I think everybody's heard of: setting up your business email with Microsoft Office 365 or setting up your business email with Google's G Suite. Now, if you're never going to use any applications and you're never going to use any other software, then Microsoft Office 365 business email is fine. But this is where I come in, and I know that a lot of brokerages hire IT companies to come and help the agents out. And I'm always cringing because they don't know your business. They're IT people. And this is where I'm different. I'm an IT person, but I know your business because my husband's in it, and that's all I do now is help agents. So I know what stuff works with the other software that you guys might be using, okay? So with Microsoft Office 365, the terminology people get a little bit confused about too. So I want you to just bear with me for a minute, because I hear it all the time. Someone will say, no, I use Office 365. But they're not talking about the business email. They're talking about the software. So I want you to understand the difference, because Microsoft does make it confusing, okay? So with Microsoft, you could just buy Outlook, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access, doesn't whatever, any of these pieces of software, right? These pieces of software, which we're talking in email today. So you may use Outlook to view anything. You don't have to have a Microsoft email to use Outlook as your email viewer. This is a key point that a lot of people don't quite understand. Does that make sense? So I can use Outlook to view my G Suite business email, or my Yahoo email, or my iCloud email, or my whatever email I'm using, right? It's just a viewer of what is the headquarters. Does that make sense? Okay, so on Microsoft, you can buy just Office, and that runs about $100 a year. I don't know, $110 a year. I buy it every year, so I don't know now. I can't remember, but roughly $100, $110. Okay. You can also buy Office, but also buy a business email as well through Microsoft Office. All right. You can also buy a business email that comes with OneDrive. So and this is just a few of their platforms or programs that you can purchase. So when I say, are you using Microsoft email, I don't mean Outlook. Okay? I mean, are you paying Microsoft a monthly fee to host your name at yourwebsite.com? Does that make sense? Any questions on this? Because I can't tell you, I get so much confusion on this. I don't see any questions. Okay, you smart group. Okay, so the other thing, again, I want you to understand that viewers of your email is not your email. You can view your email from a multitude of different software and platforms. So it might be, sorry, I have to turn off it might be Microsoft Outlook, it might be MacMail, it might be a piece of software you download on your device, your wireless device. Does that make sense? So on your wireless device, I'm just going to name just a couple that you can download. You can download Outlook, you can download Gmail, you can download Outlook, not to view Outlook Microsoft email, but to view your other email. You can download Gmail to view your Microsoft email. So the headquarters doesn't matter. The software, and every software is different. It just looks different. So some people like to use something called Spark. Some people like Outlook. Some people like Gmail. Does that make sense? Can we get the slides from this webinar? Great question. So what will happen at the end, just go to the darcitalks.tip/webinar, and there'll be a little tile that says get the presentation, and Ray will make a copy of this and send it off to you. It's not right on the page because I edited this morning, actually. But for sure you can get it. I'm all about sharing and helping you guys be more systematized and automated and understand technology. Okay, so back to viewers. Remember, these things are only viewers. Chrome is only a viewer of your email. Firefox, if you're logging on, is only a viewer. Internet Explorer, Edge, they're only viewers. Does that make sense? Your email sits up in this headquarters, and you're using other things to view it. All right. Does that make sense? Did you guys all know that before, or does that make sense? Because I know there's lots of confusion just based on me talking to many agents about how this works. Okay. Okay. So we're going to talk about number one, domains. We're going to talk about business email, cloud storage, and CRMs, and how this all stems from how it's important to understand G Suite, having a proper business email, and how this impacts all these things. Okay. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to say it again in a different way because I really have to get you to understand this, okay? So what's the first step when you want to own a domain is that you have to go to GoDaddy or whoever and buy the domain, right? There's many registrars out there. So it might be GoDaddy or Bluehost or whoever and register that domain, which means you're actually buying it for a specific period of time. If you stop paying for it, they release it to the public and the public can then use that domain name, right? Okay, the next step would be to host your website somewhere. So there's a gazillion of these, and Reliance is American, Remax has a free website, Realty Ninja, there's like many different spots to host your website, okay? So now that you've done that, you bought the domain, you paid for it through GoDaddy, you're hosting it somewhere. This is where I see that agents don't do this part. They keep using that Yahoo, that Shaw, that TELUS, and I'm going to tell you the worst emails to have are Shaw and TELUS. The other ones are horrible too, but worst ones are Shaw and TELUS because I know that you have problems. I know that you have problems if you have Yahoo. I know you have problems if you have Hotmail, iCloud, Outlook, because it's not hosted properly with a proper business email that's on a proper, what I want to call exchange server, even though Google, but everyone kind of understands what exchange server means. Using a proper business server, all right? This is so important. So this is the part that for some reason has missed people. And I think just they keep sending emails from their old email, not knowing that it's a possibility that you own a domain that you can totally set up an email address with that, okay? So, with domains, let's go back to domains because there's a few new people here, so I want to just give you some input on domains. Use your own domain, your own name as a domain. So in hindsight, if Terry and I had thought it through way back when and we knew what we knew now, we would not have used his terryosty.com email or domain name. You also have to think about if your name's difficult, is it, you know, like this is I made this Marnie name up, but if it's difficult, people are never going to know how to spell it or find you, right? Unless you have a link that they can click on. So if you have a difficult name, that's one thing, but also later on, which you guys don't seem to think about in 10, 20, 30 years, I don't know how old everybody is, at some point, if you want to slow down or perhaps retire, that it's a lot easier to sell a name that is more generic, right? Like 416homes.com or your phone number.homes or housesin blah blah.com. Does that make sense? And I'm going to give you a little secret right now that I just found out about, and I'm just partnering with this company. Actually, I'm going out to Toronto next week for a conference, and this is how I found out about this company. But they just released, you're hearing it here first, I haven't announced it to anybody, that they just released this ability to have a .homes extension instead of .ca or .com. And I like it. We've purchased some already with that extension. So just think about how that might be valuable to you to have that extension as well, okay? But on the right-hand side is really a better, more generic name for your business. Does that make sense to everybody? Again, terryosty.com, that's his, and we use it. We just purchased a couple .homes, and we're going to try and figure out how we're going to use those. But that makes sense to be more generic, right? Okay. No questions out there? Okay, you guys are quiet. All right, so mobile-friendly site. I just wanted to put this in here because this is another thing that I see. New agents are probably fine with this because the new themes for websites are almost all, well, I've not seen one not mobile-friendly, but you guys who have been in a business for a while, you need to go figure out if your site is mobile friendly, because I cannot tell you how many times I'm working with an agent, and this is the process. We look at all things top down, right? How's your domain? How's your website? How's your website on mobile? Is it mobile friendly? If your site is not mobile friendly, you have not been indexed by Google since 2015. They made a major announcement in April. It's stuck in my head. It was April 2015 that they will no longer index non-mobile friendly websites. So that means you're not going to be found in search, right? This is so important. On my resource page, I actually have a link that says, click here to test if your site's mobile friendly. You need to go do that. And if it's not, I'm going to give you a tip what to do. So call whoever's hosting your website, and if it's one of the big ones that host websites like Ubitor, My Real Page, Realty Ninja, any of those guys, anybody, they will be able to just say, pick a theme, a new theme that's mobile friendly, and it should not cost you much money. Now, I want to just give you a little comment, because I've seen it happen where an agent's come to me and said, oh yeah, they're going to do it for me for $3,000. I'm like, no, because all it should be is really a switch from one type of theme to another one. If your website shows just a little bit and there's a bunch of blank space on the right hand and left hand side, you're probably not mobile friendly. Okay, really, really important. So just be aware of that. That's so important that a lot of agents don't know. Okay, let's talk now about the cloud storage side, that headquarters again. We're back at cloud storage, because again, I'm telling you this because I just find I get the same questions over and over that most people don't understand. So what's the cloud? So data is email, calendar, contacts. It's also files, folders, photos, documents, and they're different. But basically, they're stored in a server somewhere up in the cloud where we don't really know where it is, right? That infamous cloud. And usually it's maintained and operated by people like Microsoft has its cloud, Google has cloud, Dropbox has its cloud, right? Does that make sense? Okay, so I know that a lot of people use Dropbox, right? And so that's fine. But what I want you to understand is that if you're a paying business customer using Microsoft or Google for email, business email, that with that comes cloud storage included in the fee you pay monthly. So with Microsoft, it's OneDrive. With Google, it's Google Drive. And Dropbox is only cloud storage. It doesn't host email. Does that make sense? So usually, though I like Dropbox and people want to stay with Dropbox, fine. But if you're paying already for a business email that comes with another cloud storage, why pay for two? Right? Okay. All right, let's talk about email issues if you might have, if you're not using a proper business email. Okay, if you have to access different emails on different platforms, right? You're probably not set up properly. If you use your name at your website, but you aren't paying for it, that means it's only a forwarding email, right? Okay. If you're forwarding emails to a personal email, that's a problem. Forwarding sometimes may take up to 30 minutes depending on where it's forwarding, on which servers and how it's forwarding. So I don't really like forwarding, except if we're going to stop all your other emails and you're going to forward it to your new business Google G Suite email, right? Okay. If you use your brokerage email, it's either a forwarder. So I don't really recommend using a brokerage email, or do they own the data? I don't like when some of the brokerages have given people their own, usually Microsoft email or Google email, right? Who owns that data? If they're giving you their name, the brokerage email, and it's yours, your name at the brokerage. Do you hear what I'm saying? I would never do that. Because they own the data. You want to have full control over your stuff, which means you set it up, you're the administrator, not them. Because I can tell you what's happened when I've worked with other agents trying to get their stuff. You move brokerages, happens, then what? How do you get your contacts? How do you get your data? How do you get your emails? Are they going to let you migrate your stuff, your calendar appointments, your contacts? I don't know. I've seen some of them not be that friendly if you're going to leave. Right? Does that, I can't stress that this part is so important to make sure that you understand how that works. If you're giving out a brokerage email and, you know, maybe you're never ever going to leave, but maybe something happens in your life and you do. You have to always think about that, okay? That's what I worry about. Yeah, okay, Selena, great question. That would be one of my, so a lot, not a lot, but I do see a lot more bigger brokerages coming out with their own CRM. I know Keller Williams has one. I think it's called KV Core. Remax is coming out with one called Bouge. And yeah, I wonder also who will own the data. We tried asking that. It's a little too soon in to try and figure out who owns the data and can I get it, you know, when it, yeah. I will be on that, trust me, when with all these CRMs that are coming out. That's what I love to do and research and figure out. But yeah, great question, right? Okay. Using role-based emails like info at, help at, contact at. So what happens, this is another thing that I see people do, and they're not, either they've set it up with an actual business email, a paying business email, and they use something like info at. The info at, help at, just Google role-based emails. Role-based emails are not great to use. For one thing, did you know that a role-based email can't apply to register for a newsletter? Because it's considered kind of spam. And if you send emails out from a role-based email, they are more likely to be considered spam. That's big, right? So you have to understand role-based emails. If you're using internet service provider like Shaw or TELUS, so what happens if you want to switch? Okay, I totally don't agree with ever using an internet-based service provider at all, because their emails aren't proper business emails and your stuff is not talking or syncing. So you update in one spot, it doesn't update anywhere. But even beyond that, you want to switch to somewhere else or you move where there's no Shaw or TELUS, you're hooped, right? Because the email lives with them. That's their email, okay? If you have multiple email addresses, it means you're not running your business efficiently. If you update a contact calendar somewhere on your phone, on your tablet, and it doesn't update everywhere and in your CRM, that means you're not set up properly, okay? If you update your CRM contacts and it doesn't update your phone contacts, you're not set up properly. You're on old technology that is not set up properly or integrated properly. If you manage multiple databases of contacts or leads, I see agents that they type in an Excel spreadsheet, stuff's pulled in from the internet into a spreadsheet, you update it on your contacts. Like there's many different things that you shouldn't be doing. And managing multiple databases, why? Because nowadays your database, your gold is your phone contacts. Your contacts should be syncing with the headquarters, and that beautiful headquarters should be talking to everything else. Does that make sense? Okay. You read an email on one device and it shows unread, right? And you thought, I know I read that. And then you go back and you're confused, right? It's because you're using that old technology, POP or IMAP, and they don't talk to each other. Okay, you read it here, but if it's set up properly, all the stuff goes away. It's like magic. All right, you move an email to a folder and it doesn't move on the other. So you're having to do the same thing multiple times. Do you hear me? Is anyone ever doing this? Same thing, moving email on your phone and then, oh, I already read that. Oh, I got to go move it somewhere else. Is anyone? It's only me. It's only the people I see. Right? Yeah. Okay. Come on. I know that. An agent. Okay. This is something that actually recently happened. An agent said that to another agent that they sent an email, but they can't find it. So they actually sent an email to the agent that said, we just got an offer, are you in? They didn't follow up with a text or anything, and the agent never got it. So have you ever been missing emails? On those free accounts, that happens because a lot of times they're considered spam. So if an agent has a spammy type email sending it to you, it could end up in your junk or spam, right? This cost that agent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. It made me sick. Okay, so we fixed her all up, so it's all fine now. Does that make sense? Let me just see, Ursula, you said, what is the proper way to store an email after it was read? the proper way, God, I love the question, the proper way to store an email after it's read, that has nothing to do with it really. It's if it's set up, I'm going to use myself as an example. Darci at darcitalks.com is set up with Google's G Suite email, which is a proper email server setup. So if I move an email on my phone, it moves it on Outlook. I use Outlook to view my email, or if I had Mac Mail, it would move it. It would move it into the right folder. And on my phone, I would see that no matter where I'm moving it, it's moved everywhere. Because I'm using a proper server, business server, to do so, not Yahoo, not a free email where they don't really care. And that's all we had 7 or 8 years ago. Okay, hopefully that answers your question. And your email address is a personal email, right? This is another email issue. I'll talk about this in more detail, but really it's important to understand free is not good. If you're running a business, which you are, free emails are not the way to run your business. All right. Okay. So again, you're going to have issues finding stuff. Please don't have free accounts. All these best agent ever at iCloud.com, Emily Brown at TELUS.net, Bob Smith year at AOL, Joe Blow 1973 realtor at Yahoo.ca. Those are all considered free emails, right? Don't use the internet-based service. And really, I don't recommend having a brokerage email address, right? If you can avoid it, use your name at yourwebsite.com where you own the data, okay? Think personal business. I just found this online. Think personal email is good for business. I would never, would you hire a lawyer that his email address is the best lawyer ever at yahoo.ca? Right? I don't know why you think it's different in your own business. Okay. The other thing with cloud storage, cloud storage, that was about email. Now I'm going to talk about cloud storage where it's your folder structures, on your computer, it's your photos and documents and things like that. So this is a common thing that I see with agents is that you can't pull up your important file on your phone. Why? Because it's not set up properly. You'd have to drive back to your home or office to get a file. Why? Because it's not set up properly. Oh my goodness, you fax documents. You should not have to fax documents. You attach individual documents to emails rather than links to the stuff that's in a folder. That makes sense? Because you've seen it. Okay. You download Dropbox, Google Drive, or all of them, and you put a few files on each. You've got iCloud. If you're a Mac user, you got Dropbox, you got Google Drive, you got OneDrive, you've got little bits of stuff in all things. That means you don't know what you're doing, to be honest with you. Why not just use one service? One service. That's all you should be really using. Okay, multiple cloud storage services, and especially if you're paying for multiple ones, you shouldn't need to. One paid account, that's it. And here's the other thing that is probably the most important part, most important part, is that what happens if your stuff dies and it's only sitting on that hardware? I've had people come crying after the fact that their computer, they spilled something on it and their files, are gone now. And my first question is, oh, okay, well, is all your stuff on some cloud storage, Google Drive, OneDrive, iCloud, what did I miss there? Dropbox. And I get this, well, some stuff, but not everything. Well, you're hooped. I had a person who did not have it set up properly. He's all good now, but he did not have it set up properly. And he paid someone $10,000 to try, it's called forensic looking at your hard drive. So they literally go through and try and get the information, what's recoverable. And he got, I can't even remember, maybe 50%, I can't remember what he said now, 50% back. It wasn't all of the stuff. And he paid somebody to take it for like a week and try and recover the data. And that's passé. Like, we don't have to worry about that now. I don't know if anyone follows me on social media. A couple months ago, I had a horrible Mercury in retrograde. I don't know if I believe in that, but I kind of believe in it. I have a client who's totally into it. She's like, that's why, Darci. So I had two computers die. I went and got one, and then it died, and then I got another one, and now I have this one, which is awesome. But did I have a horrible time? Yes. But was I panicked about my presentations, my data? No. It's all up in that headquarters. So I had to get a new computer. I had to download whatever, Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive, whatever. I use Google Drive, obviously, because I'm talking about Google. But whatever you have, you just download it and all your stuff comes back. Or in a pinch, you log on to someone else's. I had to use Terry's laptop and go get the stuff I needed. Does that make sense? Do you understand the difference between the cloud storage products? Yeah? Okay. Any questions? We're good? Okay, how are we doing for time? Awesome. Okay, so again, I'm going to talk about, in a different way, every email address comes with emails, folders, contacts, calendars. And this is what I see with agents. So I'll look at their phone and I'll go, okay, so you've got contacts in iCloud, you have contacts in your personal Gmail, and you've got different contacts and calendars and email, of course. You've got all these things in the different email addresses. So if you've got 4 email addresses, you're managing all 4 of these things. And here's the thing that most people don't know. When I say, well, where's your calendar that you use? I'm like, well, I don't know. I just update it on my phone. I don't see it on my computer, though. That's weird, isn't it? I've never been able to see it on my computer. No. Yes. It's a common problem. Because Apple users, and I'm an Apple user, but I understand how Apple does things. And by default, stuff is turned on that should not be turned off, but turned on. Now, I am not saying right now go and turn it off, because then you can't see your contacts, but that is what I do with agents. And you'll get an offer one-on-one to work with me at a special rate and a special deal that we're throwing in actually the school. It's a better deal that on the URL that you're going to get. Okay, then the flash sale. If you just want the school, great. But if you want the school and a one-on-one with me, you get a really good deal when you sign up for the darcitalks.tips/webinar. Okay, no questions, you guys? Really? No one wants to unmute themselves and ask questions? Okay, I'm continuing on. Okay, cloud storage files. Again, the files which are on your computer, folders, documents, music, photos, all that stuff, right? That makes sense? Okay, so there's 2 different types of cloud storage, but everything is up in the cloud. That makes sense? Okay, continuing on. So I can't tell you how important it is to have your foundation, that's good, right, with a bunch of agents, your foundation set up. What happens if your foundation is faulty? Something is wrong. It's going to crash eventually, right? No difference for you guys with your systems. Your systems aren't set up properly, everything will crash. Right? So again, I'm going to go talk about email. Your name at your brokerage, don't like that. We know that. Joe 1974 at AOL, Amy Smith 7 at Shaw, Terry T05 agent at Yahoo, John the Realtor 63. Okay. So do not put your year of birth in your, if I can't convince you to run your business like a proper business, please don't put your year of birth in your email address. There's a lot of things that are a problem with that. One, okay, professionalism, it's not very professional, but also, how do you know that if you're, I don't know, John the Realtor 1997, that someone gets it and goes, oh, that's too young, they haven't been in business very long, or the opposite, that they might think you're too old. Why even give them the opportunity to know anything about that, right? Do not put your year of birth in your email address. It's the best of the worst is Gmail. What can we do about that? But on the right-hand side, these would be something that I would consider proper business emails that you can set up with G Suite. You know, Joe at Joe Sells, Amy at Just Sold, Terry at Kelowna.homes, John at whatever, 416-8888. Oh, that's too many numbers, isn't it? I gotta fix that. And these can be set up with G Suite. Okay, any questions? Okay. Because the studies show in 2016 that 75% of consumers say an email address matching your domain is critical to trust and professionalism. So could you be losing business because of your email address? I'm going to say yes. Or maybe you're missing it because it's going to spam, right? Any questions? Okay. Okay, back to Office 365 or G Suite. Those are the 2 things that you could set up, okay? But once you set them up, and again, I am not a fan of Microsoft email. I can't stress that enough. And the reason being is that it does not work with CRMs, not as directly as Google does, okay? Google is way better when within your own real estate industry. So if your brokerage hires an IT company, the IT company says, hey, yeah, we're set you up all on Microsoft. They don't know your business. They don't know your business. I know that Google's G Suite works way better, easier, streamlined, synchronized with most CRMs out there, okay? So let's just say that you get a G Suite email, john@dixiehomes.com. You set that up. This is what John's going to do, okay? John has, oh, I've got to fix this slide. Ray, we need to fix this slide. Those slide before and this one is gmail.com, okay? So let's just say John's got all these other email addresses. We would forward them to the new email address. We'd put an out-of-office responder on, test it, make sure it works, right? And never look at this again. We could, now again, this is probably where my help comes in, but what I look at is every single email address. Do we need the contacts? Are you using the calendar? We look at iCloud. How's everything working? All the different email addresses. And the goal is in the end to use the one, never look at the other ones again. No more incoming emails go into it, right? You just stop using it. It's forwarded to this one and the person gets an autoresponder, which is a perfect opportunity for you guys to say something like, thanks, I got your email. I've received your email. Please note my new email is john@dixiehomes.com. And are you looking to buy or sell? I'd love to be able to give you a market report, blah, 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 something that you would say in your own words. What a great opportunity to do this, right? Because usually the autoresponder works and they will get that out of office response. Any questions? No? You guys are quiet. Okay, we're going on. So the beautiful thing when you're set up properly, when all your devices are set up properly, Outlook, Mac Mail, Webmail, whatever you're using on that G Suite email, you update your phone, it updates your CRM, your iPad, your iPhone, your Android, your computer, your Mac, your whatever you got, both ways. One update on no matter what system you're using. Can you see how powerful that is? Because I know that's not happening if you're not set up properly. Okay? So G Suite is the way to go. I love Google. And here's the thing, when you're a paying customer, you don't get ads anymore inside your email, right? You don't get ads anymore. You get unbelievable support through Google because now you're a customer, right? So you can go live chat, phone them, email them, say something's not working, I don't know how to do this, or whatever, about Google Drive, about your contacts, about anything. They will help you. Yes? Is that great? And again, you can use my link to get it. And we also have, I forgot also, I contacted Google after I started saying everybody should be using it and said, can we get a deal? And they give us 20% off for the first year. Okay, so if you want a coupon, you can email us. Ray, you can put that in the link to email you and get a coupon. That'd be great. Okay, still no questions. Am I missing something? You guys still there? Everybody sleeping? I don't see any questions, which is unusual. Okay, just tell me you're still here. Hi, people. Okay. All right. Yeah, okay. I know. It's just so exciting, right? Okay. So I just want to show you something as well, what you should be doing with your marketing. It does not mean right now you have to change all your marketing materials, my friends. Okay, don't freak out if your signage says your Gmail account or your Yahoo account, because you're going to redirect it. Next time you're going to go buy signs or next time you're going to do marketing, then change the info. Does that make sense? Okay. So I don't want you to freak out because there's ways to manage all this that you're not going to miss emails, okay? And we test all that and it's all good. But one of the things that you want to do is on marketing materials, you want to make sure, did you see that? Like you're reading that and you're like, what? That's not good. But it's actually Mole Station Nursery, all right? And you want to capitalize the first letter of every word on your domain. So whether you're typing a domain name or an email address, you always will do this. You'll see that on all my marketing materials, that my D is capitalized and my T is capitalized on everything. Just so people can easily differentiate the words, right? Make it easy for people to remember your name and your website. All right, let me see, there was a question. Jennifer, thank you. I'm now having domain with who is and will be expired till June 2020. Can I switch to Google? Okay, so I have not done my job today. So let me explain that. Did you hear what, thank you for the question, Jennifer. You have a domain, so the domain is different. So if you buy a domain, let's say again, my domain, Darci@darcitalks.com. I bought that domain and I pay for it, I don't know, for 5 years. So let's just say mine expires in June 2020. I own that domain. It's separate that I'm paying Google. Okay. I have Google Home. Google, it's saying, hey, what? It's separate that I'm paying for Google. I'm a voice activated speaker. Can you guys hear that? Anyhow, I should turn Google off. That should be on my list of things to do before a webinar. Hey, Google, off. Sorry. So does that make sense? It's completely, oh my goodness. It's completely separate. So you buy the domain, you want to keep paying for the domain if you're going to use it. But if you stop your domain payment, like let's say I stop Darci@darcitalks.com, my email will stop too because I don't own it anymore. And we authorize Google to be using that domain. Does that make sense, Jennifer? Let me know if not. And also, again, I'm going to offer you guys, this is the very first webinar I'm doing this. So we'll see how this goes. If too many people take advantage, I might have to switch that up. But I haven't ever offered a 30-minute free consult to look at your systems. We obviously can't do a lot, but I can look at your systems and see if we're a good fit to work together. That will be on when you go to darcitalks.tips/webinar. Okay. Okay, let's continue on. Great question, Jennifer. Love the questions. Okay, so again, what looks better? It looks better for marketing purposes to do the right-hand side than the left-hand side, right? Okay. The other thing that I see happen, oh good, I'm almost done, is when you're setting up a CRM, this is what I see. They say, import your stuff, or Outlook sync your stuff. This is horrible. Or you manually are doing it and nothing is talking to each other. Almost all CRMs out there will sync with Google. It will say Google integration, Google apps is the old terminology, G Suite sync, Google sync, some sort of synchronization, right? Does that make sense? Okay. Do not, I cringe when someone says, oh no, I imported my stuff. If you imported your stuff, it's because your email isn't incorrectly set up. Does that make sense? This is so important, you guys. Okay, let's talk a little bit about cloud storage briefly. iCloud, Dropbox, OneDrive, Google Drive, all cloud storage. They will all save files, photo, anything. It's a folder on your computer that is syncing to the cloud, okay? When you are switching over to Google Drive, if that's what, you know, of course, I'm talking about Google. So if you're going to switch over and use Google Drive, you don't copy it from Dropbox to Drive, you move it. Does anyone know why? Because if you copy it, now you got two things and you're not going to remember which is the correct one. Never, ever. I can't even think of one reason to ever copy something from one location to another, ever. I can't even think of one. Please always, always move your stuff from one platform to another, from one folder to another. I'm sure there's reasons to copy, but I can't think of them right now. Okay. Okay. All right. So a CRM, again, it should sync with your email directly, which means you only update contacts once and everybody's talking to each other. The good CRMs will do that. You can do a bulk email, a client appreciation party from your business email and send it out to people. You can do drip campaigns in a CRM. Prospective buyers at an open house and send drip campaigns. Next month we're going to be talking specifically about CRMs. I call it CRM Smackdown. And we're going to talk about what CRMs can do and why you need to have a CRM to run your business, okay? We do a 10-year drip in our CRMs. Like CRMs are unbelievable. But the thing, again, that I see over and over again, people are using these CRMs and keeping them separate. Why? Because you don't know. Right? So now you know if your email's set up properly, the integration to your CRM could be seamless. Don't just turn it on if you don't know what you're doing. Okay? I have a deal for an hour and a half with me. Usually what I do is I work with clients for 10 hours and we get all the stuff all fixed within a 10-hour platform. Okay? So if you're interested in that, you can also contact us and we can chat about that as well. Okay? All right. Any questions? Does that make sense to understand the technical side of it so your business runs smoother and hopefully it's a ride like this rather than on those bumpy bumpy wheels, right? So we talked about domains, we talked about business email, cloud storage, CRMs. Are there any other questions before I do the draw? Please use me now. You can unmute yourself and I can talk to you if you like. I have no problem with that. Or just raise your hand, chat, keep going. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep going on, but ask your questions now. If you'd want me to speak at your event or sales rally or your weekly meetings, let me know. Just email me. That'd be awesome. I'd love to. The next webinar is June 14th, CRM Smackdown, and we are going to talk about CRMs, which are, again, are so important. Let's hope this video works. I don't know. No. I don't know what's going on. We have to fix this. So we want to thank Remax Crest again. You can go join Metro. Cassidy Bast is the amazing recruiter there. So if you're looking for a switch up, you can always check out Cassidy or ask us and we'll hook you up with her. Again, you can go to darcitalks.tip/webinar. I'm going to give you all the resources, special deals on training, on my online technology school for agents. Sign up for the free video series. The link is there as well, because it's this, but in a slower format, okay? It goes over the same process if you want to just kind of look at it in a different way and at your own pace. We also offer social media postings for agents, and we do newsletters for agents. If you're interested in that, you get a deal on RJ, and again, that 30-minute free consult on your systems. All right, so don't forget, because I may or may not do this again depending on how today goes. All right, so you're gonna go there. Let's do a draw for the, you gotta be here. Are you ready? So the winner, let's see, let's do, why don't you guys type in the chat what's the best thing that you learned today? And then I'll pick one, okay? Best thing you learned today, and the winner of that will get a 1-year membership to darcitraining.com. It's all the stuff that's been in my head. I create these little courses and you can go through them at your own pace and learn. You also get a free monthly webinar that is, we just kind of talk like this, but you can ask questions. It's all pretty cool. And let's see, come on, type in there, you guys. Let's see. Come on, I want to see more than that. You guys are good, yes. Okay, let's see. G Suite's powerful for sure. I love it. I love it. Okay. You know what? Ray, can you just randomly pick someone? That would be awesome. Don't set up emails for Microsoft. Thank you, Lulu. You know what? Okay, you know what? Ray, you pick one person, and I like Lulu. I'm so glad you made it this morning. You are going to win, and Ray's going to pick one that he thinks is really good too, because exactly. Please do not go to Microsoft and get a business email from them. That is really not cool. And also, you can do the 14-day trial of the school and go check it out if you want. At the very top, it says 14 days. You can go check it out. But Lulu's going to be a winner, and Ray, you pick somebody else, and he'll email you guys with the logons and stuff like that. And I want to thank you so much. If you guys, please, if you have any questions, ask now. We've got, I have 2 minutes over, but not bad. Any questions? No questions? No, I don't see any questions. You guys are awesome. Thank you very, 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 very much for joining me. And my quote of the day is, the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. Because I have people all the time say, oh no, yeah, I'm going to do that. And then a year later, yeah, I'm going to do that. Think of all the time you've wasted, okay? Think of all the time you've wasted. Get your business systems in order. And again, take advantage of the specials that we're going to give you, okay? All right, have a great Friday. And it's going to be extra special in Vancouver because it is, action speaks louder than words. Yes, Louise, you got it. All right, have a great weekend. And it's going to be hot today in Vancouver. Oh my goodness, I can't wait. I'm going to get outside. All right, talk to you later, you guys. Bye.